So I am pretty new here. I wasn't here 10 years ago. But I do know one thing. I know the people of New York State said, we don't want any more gerrymandering. We don't want any more deals between the Senate Democrat, the Assembly Democrats and the Senate Republicans. We don't want a process that's done behind closed doors. We want the people to be involved. I don't know where the people were involved here. But I do know that the Democrats control the Assembly, the Senate, and the executive chamber. That was not the case 10 years ago. So when we bring up these arguments, what I hear is, well, that's what the Republicans did. Well, first of all, not this Republican. I wasn't here. In fact, most of my colleagues weren't involved in this process. But regardless, the people of New York State said, we don't want this anymore. And here we are, doing the same thing again. What's the definition of insanity? So, folks, I can tell you that I think people in my district are far more attuned to this than I really thought they would be. This is kind of a down-in-the-weeds thing. But they're upset. They're upset because when they go to the gas pump, the price is higher. They're upset when they go to the grocery store, they can't find food to put on their table. They're upset because they turn on the TV and they see cities like Rochester with a higher murder rate per capita than the city of Chicago, the murder capital of the world. And they want to at least feel like their government's working for them. And they're not talking about special interest after special interest, dividing the people, keeping us angry with each other. And they ask that we have a bipartisan process to draw districts for communities of interest, which we can't even define. But the people could have told us what their communities of interest were. They could have said, this is why we want to stay together. When I look at that ridiculous 63rd district, I lived in Amherst. I started my business in the city of Buffalo. There's no business for that district to be where it is. This is not the process that people wanted. And for the Democrats to say, well, that's what the Republicans did. Well, I don't know about your grandmother, but my grandmother says, two wrongs don't make a right. So let's set that aside. If you folks are the people, the party of the people, then do what the people asked. This isn't it. It's ridiculous. We had a chance to do it right. We had a chance to do what the people said in 2014, and they said it again just a couple months ago. And what are we doing? The same old thing. Why? Because that's what the Republicans did. None of these Republicans did it. So I'm no, and I think everybody else should be no. Thank you, Mr. President.